Okay, welcome back. Let's get ready to boogie because we're here for part 3 of vocabulary. And today we are going to be looking at a collection of vocabulary that is very important to be used as police officers, that will be used in KBOs and all general places in police activity. We're going to be going over this list. We'll be watching 2 videos and then we'll be analyzing 2 pieces of text to see how security cameras could be used in the future, potentially by police. And then we are going to break down what do you guys think is the effect of these cameras. Should they come to Germany? Will they come to Germany? Will they be useful? Well, that's a discussion for you guys to pay attention to, and that is what we will look into. So, without further ado, let's begin. I have my list of words right here that I'll be teaching, and then we'll jump into some activities. Okay, so first word of the day that we're going to be going into is the word collocation. A collocation is a combination verb. It is a verb that uses a preposition. Classic in German is the word ziehen. Ziehen is a verb that can be used in German with a whole bunch of prepositions. Anziehen, umziehen, so on and so forth. And the thing is, ziehen is the main word, but it changes completely in meaning if you change the preposition. Another example of a complete collocation, which has completely different meaning. In English, we say assume or presume, and no preposition, or maybe I presume that. That's about it. In German, you say ich gehe davon aus. Now, each of these individual words, ich, gehe, davon, and aus, these are completely individual words. They have their own individual meaning, so to speak. But if used together with this particular combination, they create a collocation, which changes the meaning entirely. Whereas the collocations we're looking at today, they are merely memorizing which preposition goes with which verb. So, without further ado, let's look at some of these prepositions that will be useful for police activities. So the first one is monitor for. Now, most people, when they hear the word monitor, they think it's a computer screen. In German, monitor for would be beobachten. Beobachten. So if you're monitoring for something, you are looking for something, essentially. So you have other words like you're searching for, looking for, those are your basic verbs in English. Monitoring for is an advanced word that would be predominantly used by police or security, things like that. In which case you would be looking at things passively. Keep that in mind, passively. Monitoring for things is exactly what cameras do. They watch a particular location, they pay attention to things and see things around. Which brings me to the second word of today. Pay attention to something. The police often will pay attention to people. For example, you pay attention to people if they're driving and their car is moving side to side, or you pay attention to the smell that someone has if they are carrying drugs, or if they are looking kind of funny doing something like this. You pay attention to that and then you assume, man geht davon aus, that they potentially are carrying a weapon, and then you can use that to begin your search or to begin your detainment. Keep that word in mind. We'll look at that another day. Okay, but now comes the slightly more complicated words. We have prevent from and protect yourself from. Now, prevent usually means vermeiden, to stop something from happening. Whereas protecting yourself from something, everyone knows the word schützen or the beschützen. It's a lot more direct and active to say you are protecting yourself from something. For example, if you wear a bulletproof vest, it will protect you from a knife or from a gunshot, something like that. It will protect you from these things. What does prevent mean then? Preventing someone from doing something is when you make a person not be able to, like they don't get a chance to do it. And then last but not least, we have the last of the from words, and this is deter. Deter someone from something. So I learned the word deter from the beautiful German word nukleares Abschreckungsmittel. Abschrecken. So how are abschrecken and schützen different? Well, protect, the bulletproof vest protects you, but it doesn't prevent someone from attacking and it doesn't deter a person from attacking. Now, let's imagine someone wants to attack you, but you're hanging out in the town armed and ready with 20 other police officers. The larger the group of police officers, the less likely it is that people want to attack you. That doesn't mean that no one will do it, but it deters people from thinking about it. They think twice about it. So a deterrence is something that deters people from even trying. They don't think about doing it. Okay, and then on top of this, we have the words safeguard. So you can protect yourself from something, but you can also protect yourself against something. Gegen etwas. How would you say that in German? Gegen etwas. Gegen etwas absichern. And that is what safeguarding means. So safeguard is, again, a passive sort of thing where a password will protect you from people. Many people believe that a VPN will safeguard you from having people even try, that sort of thing. A safeguard is an extra protective measure which makes people think twice and go, do I really want to? But it goes with the preposition against. That is what we want to remember. So you've probably heard of the word safeguard or safe and guard. It's not too hard to put the two together. But you might not know that it goes with against. Protect goes with from and against. Prevent always goes with from. Deter always goes with from. Okay. And last but not least, we have two words that go with the word with. With. And the words that we want to look at with this are charged with and tasked with. Well, what do these words mean? So, charged with, you would say that someone is charged with a crime. Most likely, if you go to the dictionary, and we go over here, charged, sometimes it says beladen or geladen, but if you go to charged with, not geladen mit, if we go down to the legal words, it should be somewhere here, charged with murder, angeklagt, anklagen. Now, you would never say an as with. This would never translate to charged with something. Un never connects with. So this is a bad sense. This is a bad connection. Sometimes German and English match up, like absichern gegen, safeguarded against. Those two work nicely together. Other times they don't, and it can be confusing. Just be aware of this. But anklagen is most likely what people say with charged. Beschuldigen also sometimes works, but from my understanding, beschuldigen and anklagen have completely different legal meanings. In English, it's usually the same. In German, I'll let your German teachers teach you the difference on that one. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Okay, so charged with is a nice word to know. Often people will be charged with crimes, charged with murder, charged with theft, things like this. But what about tasked with? Beauftragt. For example, people will often be charged with something that they were tasked with doing something. For example, someone was charged with being tasked with murder or tasked with some kind of illegal activity. But often the police will also be tasked with protecting things, protecting people. Now, in Germany, you have an entire group of police officers that are purely tasked with protecting things. It's like a Gedenkschutz, something. I forget the German word. But you are often going to be tasked with protecting, searching, investigating, these sorts of things. So, charged with is a nice, useful word. Tasked with is a very useful word. Okay, and that brings me nicely to this video here. I'm allowed to share these, my understanding. Let's pause really quick with this particular situation here. And we're going to be looking at what the police have started to use in America. And then we're going to see if we can describe this particular crime-saving device and with any of the words that we've just looked at to see if this is useful or not. Let's go.
Taking a closer look at a dramatic East Lubbock standoff where multiple shots were fired and one person was injured.
39-year-old Felix De La Rosa was wanted for a parole violation. That's why officers tracked him to the hotel. But when he fired shots, they called in the Lubbock County SWAT team. At one point, we saw and heard him fire at a bomb squad robot. Take a listen. It sprayed tear gas into De La Rosa's hotel room. Initially, De La Rosa tried to fight the robot, even throwing sheets of what looked like towels at it, but that didn't stop the robot from deploying gas. We watched as De La Rosa crawled out of that window and onto the ground where the robot pinned him until officers took him into custody.
Taking a closer look at a dramatic East.
Okay, this is rather dramatic. Feel free to go back and watch it a second time if you need to. But this is starting to become a thing where police don't want to go into a live action situation. This isn't the movies, and they want to be protected from criminals. They want to be protected from criminals. And if you're paying attention to the situation, you can shoot at a robot. If you're paying attention to this robot is built rather strongly. That he tries to throw a blanket against himself, but that doesn't really work. It doesn't slow it down or anything. And what's also really interesting about this situation is that this person shot at police officers when they tried to arrest him the first time. But he is prevented from shooting at the police because there's no police around. This robot prevents him from attacking the police because that's not possible at all. As a result, this robot, does it deter him from attacking the police? Does this robot deter him? No, not really. This doesn't make him think twice. It just makes him unable to shoot at the police or to cause harm to the police. What about this part here? This is where things get interesting. So, it then is tasked with getting him out of the room. The robot is tasked with getting him out of the room. Well, how does it do that?
This hotel room. Initially, De La Rosa tried to fight the robot, even throwing sheets that would look like towels at it, but that didn't stop the robot from deploying gas.
Tear gas.
We watched as
It's just spraying gas into the room, forcing him to come out because he wasn't able to breathe/see properly. Also, I get the feeling he realized there was no way out. Okay, but how does this robot safeguard the police? So it protects the police, sort of, by not making the police need to be there. It prevents him from being able to attack the police by not making the police present at all. And of course, the police are monitoring for activities through this robot and everything. But what it does, if we watch again...
De La Rosa crawled out of that window and onto the ground where the robot pinned him until officers took him into custody.
Yep. It pushes him against the ground. Now, this is no guarantee that he won't be able to get his gun, but it definitely guarantees that he will not be able to attack the police. Allows the police to be able to analyze the situation and know that he is not moving. This safeguards as an extra level of protection against the police. In this particular instance, I think the man was charged with the original crime, plus he was also charged with aggravated assault. I'm sure you guys remember the assault from the last video. This is where you just shoot at people or cause any kind of threat instantaneously. This is a felony in America, and because you create danger, even though you might not want to actually hurt people. In this case, he definitely did want to hurt people. He tried to simply create a threat, and that makes it assault. Okay. But he was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and this wasn't considered reckless endangerment. It was considered with intent, that he was definitely trying to hurt people. Okay. So we managed to use all of the fine words here in this particular activity. Let's now think about what cameras can do in these situations. So the camera, does it protect the police? Not really. Does it protect civilians, possibly? Maybe, but we're going out on a bit of a loop. And do cameras prevent people from doing these crimes? Like, if they know that everything's going to be on camera. This was shot by not by a security camera from the police, but from a TV station that just rolled a camera up, put a GoPro up, and just started a live stream. Yeah, it's America. They're gonna everywhere there's a live stream. There's a live stream everywhere. And in this particular instance, these people observed everything. They monitored the situation for dangerous things going on. But did it protect the people or prevent him from hurting these people? Or prevent him from stopping it? No. Cameras, in my opinion, they deter normal people. They in the same way that a padlock deters people from trying to rob your stuff, it doesn't deter people from robbing your stuff if they don't want to. For example, okay, so I found what I was looking for. So this is a padlock, right? This will protect most people from normal people trying to take your stuff, but not necessarily from criminals. How easy do you think it is for someone to open this? Well, I have here some tools. Unironically, these are recommended for children, to teach children how to do fine mechanic with their hands. So, how long do you think it would take for me to open this lock? Is this lock well protected from someone like me with just it's just turnkey and your bog standard basic pick? Let's see how long. How long do you think it takes for me to open this? I've put some pressure on myself. There you go. It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. Another example. So you actually need to know how to use that. What about this? This is a rake. This is a basic rake. This isn't a pick at all. How long do you think it takes for me to open this? Yeah. 2 seconds. It's very easy. This like locks don't necessarily protect you very much from these things. And they don't necessarily deter people once you know how to use them. Like, watch, it's just in, put a little bit of pressure. Ta-da! I might bring this to class one day, let you guys play with it so you actually understand how easy these are to use. So, these alone, like this will cost you like $30. And it doesn't necessarily protect you to have a padlock. It will deter normal people from taking the stuff, but people who actually know how to open things, it's a very, very short period of time. If you guys actually want to learn more about this and just how easy it is, this particular channel is very good at explaining things. It will explain it much faster than me. Okay, what about passwords? Do passwords protect you from these sorts of things? Do passwords protect you from criminals? No, they deter you. They are a deterrence. They deter people from trying to get your data, your sensitive things. It's surprisingly easy to break passwords. I can give you examples if you want. There's various websites that crack these things. You give them to people and people do it for fun. But long story short, not recommended to have a short password. Long passwords, they will safeguard you a little bit using uppercase, lowercase, dashes and dots, these sorts of things. They will act as a safeguard against crackers, but it won't stop them. It's just an extra added measure of protection. If people are trying to crack your password and they see these things, it might make them stop when they realize, oh God, I actually have to work on this for 2 or 3 days. But if they're using AI or the KI, it doesn't take that long. Okay, so now we have made it to the comprehension part of this lesson where we're actually going to use these words. So this exercise here is a really good video created by the BBC. I'm not going to play it, obviously, because copyright, things get really interesting about here. So I will, if you don't know where this link is, it is in the addendum additional materials list that I'll be sending shortly. Please go to this link, watch the video. It's about 5 minutes long. And when we come back, we want to understand these comprehension questions. So please try to watch the video and answer these questions for me. That the police can match your ID card to your face. Is this true? Police can match your face with your ID card with these cameras. Can cars protect you from the cameras? So if you're in a car and you have tinted windows and whatnot, does this protect you from the cameras? Okay, next, these cameras that they use, that the Chinese police use, they can trace, also hereinfolgen, your behavior or your movements back 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. According to the video. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. They are able to know who you meet. So if you use these cameras and you have a large enough setup, they will know who you meet. Okay. So what crime is this man charged with? Is this man charged with a crime, or is he simply wanted as a suspect, a verdächtiger? So is this man that we're going to see in the demonstration charged with a crime? Is he a wanted criminal, or is he simply a suspect? Okay. Also, do the camera makers feel comfortable with the use of their products? And do they believe that AI can be used to do good things or bad things? Do these particular producers believe that AI does good things or bad things? And last but not least, do they think that using this product will predict the future or prevent the future? If we have enough cameras, can they predict or prevent the future? Okay, welcome back. So you should now be able to answer all these questions. So, yes, the police indeed match your ID card with your face. They can match your face with multiple things, but usually it's with ID cards, passports, that sort of thing. Cars do not protect you from the cameras. They can look through the cameras and they can figure out that your face is matched with a car. They can trace back your movements 1 week. They will be able to know who you meet and figure out who your associates, family, friends are. They managed to find him in 7 minutes, and he was listed as a suspect. He was simply listed as a suspect. The camera users, however, they do not always feel comfortable with the use of their products. They are a little bit discomfortable, mainly because they don't know who's going to be using it. Their personal opinion is the police and governments using it is perfectly fine. Terrorists, hackers, anything like that, they are not happy with its use. They believe that the AI in the right hands will do lots of good things. In wrong hands, it will do bad things, obviously. And they believe that they can predict and can prevent the future. Okay, for this next activity, we want to go through and read this text. We want to understand what is going on in it and its relation to the use of cameras, security cameras. But as you might have noticed, some words are missing something. So, for this particular activity, you want to go through, read it, understand it, and then figure out what prepositions go where. Which prepositions go where with these words? So, let's begin. In recent years, law enforcement has struggled to maintain order and effectively respond to incidents due to the dynamic and crowded nature of the location Warschauer Straße. The introduction of surveillance cameras could significantly enhance police operations in this area. Cameras would allow police officers to pay attention suspicious behavior and monitor criminal activities as they happen, providing real-time information that can lead to quicker response times and better coordination amongst units. By using cameras, the police would be better equipped to look and track down suspects involved in crimes such as pickpocketing or vandalism, which often consist discrete actions that are difficult to catch in the act. So pickpocketing, if you don't see it, it just happens. Additionally, surveillance footage would be crucial in gathering evidence to safeguard unjust charges and ensure fair investigations. So make sure that whoever we accuse is accused of the correct crime and will be charged with the right crime, and you only charge the right person. This would be especially beneficial in a busy location such as Warschauer Straße, where witness testimonies are often unreliable due to the chaotic movement. I've spoken to quite a few Schutzpolizei who have worked in these areas, and they all say the same thing. Witness testimony, it's 50-50. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts. Moreover, the presence of cameras could help deter criminal behavior. Knowing that their actions are being recorded may discourage potential offenders from engaging in illegal activities, thereby contributing to a safer atmosphere for both residents and visitors. Police officers tasked patrolling the area could use the footage to identify patterns in criminal activity and allocate resources more efficiently, focusing on the times and places where incidences are most likely to occur. Yeah, so this is basically what we are going to focus on. So, this is basically suggesting what if what happened here in this video happens in Germany. For example, the cameras here are very effective. They've actually significantly lowered crime rate. There's not so much crime. But what do they do? Does it allow cameras allow police officers to pay attention to suspicious behavior and monitor for criminal activities? Likewise, it allows people to look for and track down suspects. Again, very similar. Look for and monitor for. These crimes often consist of safeguard against, deter from, and are tasked with. Okay. Again, let's go back to this activity here, now that we have these words hopefully stuck in our minds. I want you guys to write for me, it shouldn't take too long, 2-3 minutes. Write down some ideas that you think that this camera system might happen and have in Warschauer Straße. Do you agree with this text? In other words, if we take cameras with this effectiveness that monitor for the criminals and do these things, would these cameras do as this text says? Would it help you to pay attention to? Would it help you to monitor for? Will it help you to safeguard civilians against these crimes? Will cameras actually help you deter criminals from criminal behavior? Do you think it will help police officers that are tasked with patrolling the area? Is this a true or false situation? Do you agree or disagree? Okay, okay, that messed up somehow. Okay, please read this and then give me your answers. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Okay, hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves so far. I hope you don't mind reading too much, because we have the final exercise of today, and that is reading this sentence and determining which verbs go where, depending on context. So, shouldn't take too long, just focus on the sentences. This was taken directly from a text about Görlitzer Park, and the ideas that these cameras, it's again applying the same concept, but to Görlitzer Park instead of to Warschauer Straße. Just go through and decide what verb should go here. What did you say? Deter, protect, search, monitor. What else? Like, of the verbs that we've looked at today, what would you put here? I've given you guys the preposition. I've simply removed the verb that goes with it. Okay, so I'll give you guys 2-3 minutes, read through this, take your time, and come back when you've figured it out. And here we go. Here are the answers. So they use the cameras to look for and monitor for potential friends. If you put monitor or look for in either or, I'd be happy. And they protect you from incidents of violence or theft, but they also safeguard against crime They can also act as a tool to deter from, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee it, unless the officers are tasked with doing these things, protecting for, monitoring from, so on and so forth. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed these exercises. I hope you guys enjoyed using these verbs, comprehending them, and using them. But I'd really like to know what your opinion is. Do you guys agree or disagree with the idea of bringing in cameras and using a security system similar to the one that we saw in China? Would that work in Germany? Would that not work in Germany? With Datenschutz, obviously, it's not possible. It's not legal at all right now, but we shall see what we shall see. So, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you guys all in part 4.